Hey guys, happy Thursday. Another Facebook Live. I am so honored and excited to be with you. And I want to thank all of you for coming on to join me for yet another educational chat. And for those of you who are new to me and to our Facebook Lives, welcome. We are so happy to have you. I know we have lots of new fans rolling in every day, so thank you so much for following. I hope you find useful information from me. I hope you feel comfortable asking me any and all health-related questions. So I am Aimee Raupp. I am a health and wellness expert. And I am also an acupuncturist by trade, a Chinese herbalist, practitioner of traditional Oriental medicine, and I'm an author of several books. My first book was called Chill Out and Get Healthy, and then I authored my second book called Yes, You Can Get Pregnant, Natural Ways to Improve Your Fertility Even into Your 40s. I myself got pregnant naturally and easily at the age of 40. And then this is my third baby, Body Belief, comes out in about 2 weeks. And it's all about healing your body from autoimmune diseases, radically shifting your health, whether or not you even have an autoimmune disease, but preventing them from coming on, and learning to love your body more. This is, isn't she a beauty? My first hardcover and published by Hay House, my first Hay House book. Super honored, super excited. I'm going to twist this a little for us. And yeah, it's a good book. But so through writing Yes, You Can Get Pregnant, which was a really big book for me and is still reaching thousands and thousands of women and helping women optimize their health and get pregnant faster, one thing I noticed both in the clinic and with women I was working with online in any of my courses or groups is that most women who are dealing with fertility challenges are actually dealing with an undiagnosed or mismanaged, mistreated autoimmune condition. And autoimmune conditions are really hard to diagnose and treat. So I have some broth today with spinach and egg. I'm going to have a sip. Oh, hi, Marlene. I love you. I was thinking about your son. I got to message him. So anyway, I just started to discover that all of these girls, a lot of them who are having these challenges, and I tend to get the really challenging cases because if the, standard Western treatments aren't working for them, then they're seeking more advice and more help. And what I was seeing is that, polycystic ovarian syndrome, that's an autoimmune condition. Endometriosis is an autoimmune condition. Girls that have hypothyroidism, which I think it's something like 30 million women are affected by hypothyroidism. 90% of them actually have Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune condition of the thyroid. And that plays a major role in affecting fertility and getting and staying pregnant. Things like celiac sprue, things like Crohn's, colitis, rheumatoid arthritis. I've had a lot of psoriatic arthritis fertility patients. And so I started to see a lot of these autoimmune type patients. So that taught me a lot about autoimmunity. I was kind of forced into it, right? To really learn about it and learn how to treat it. And the whole plan in Yes, You Can Get Pregnant does help lower inflammation and regulate the immune system so that the autoimmunity calms down. But in Body Belief, I went deeper. I learned so much more about autoimmune diseases, and I write all about it in here. And, so today we're talking about what is autoimmunity? And, and I wanted to give you that backstory too, so that you can understand why I went from writing a pregnancy book to why I went to writing an autoimmunity book, that they really are one in the same. I'm really just learning more, and as I learn, I want to share and teach. That's just me. It's my passion. It's my desire to advocate for your wellness and well-being. And yeah, you can pre-order this incredible book, which comes out in 2 weeks. We have an incredible 5-hour free, did I say free digital workshop that you will get when you pre-order this baby. So go to aimeeraupp.com/book gift, as in book, and then gift, I'm giving you something, and get my free digital workshop. So pre-order this baby, and I can't wait for you to get it in your hands. I've heard that it's going to ship sooner than March 13, which is its pub date. So you might get it in your hands like as early as next week if you pre-order it. So please do so. I love it. The pre-orders help us a lot. They help us reach people because they bring us up higher on the rankings in the book, the booksellers lists, and that in turn helps me help so many more people. So I really am grateful to you for your pre-orders because it then helps spread the message even more. And so thank you for that. And then we made you an incredible gift. You know, there's cooking demonstrations, there's meditations, there's yoga, there's qigong, there's discussions from me about ways we can begin to shift our body beliefs so we can radically heal and learn to love our body more. But so anyway, back to, you know, why I went from a fertility book to an autoimmunity book is that they're really one and the same, and it's just as I learn and grow, and any of my girls that work with me online or even in the clinic, they can speak firsthand to how I've just kind of tweaked things along the way, and as I learn more about autoimmunity and what it is, I really can help and reset the body. So what is autoimmunity? It's basically, you know, everything's happy-go-lucky in your body. All the cells and the tissues get along. Everybody knows their own space and their business, and everybody works well in tandem and synchronicity with one another. What happens in autoimmunity is what was once considered, looked at, viewed as normal, healthy tissue in your body. Say the thyroid gland is a perfect example. For some reason, it's kind of unknown why this happens. All of a sudden, the body starts saying, oh, I think that's foreign tissue. That shouldn't be here. That tissue shouldn't be in this body. And the immune system then hosts an attack against that tissue and slowly kills it, affects its function, compromises its ability to do its job. So I have a free webinar tonight all about healing Hashimoto's disease. And like I was saying, you know, I think on Instagram earlier today that if you have hypothyroidism, there's a really high chance you actually have Hashimoto's and it was undiagnosed or at some point, you know, just overlooked because many doctors don't test for antibodies. So what happens in autoimmune diseases is the body starts attacking itself and then it creates these antibodies. And then these antibodies are basically on high alert. And so anything that could potentially appear foreign, it attacks. And that causes in your body systemic inflammation and what I call cellular hostility, cellular chaos. So let me just read through from the book a couple common symptoms that are of autoimmunity. So maybe you have autoimmune disease and you don't know about it. Do you feel foggy-headed and have a hard time concentrating? Do you wake up feeling exhausted even after sleeping 8 hours? Do your hormones feel out of whack most of the time? Does your body ache often? Do you regularly have gas or bloating or indigestion, diarrhea, constipation? Do you have eczema, psoriasis, or any other skin condition? That to me, by the way, the eczema, psoriasis, huge red flag in the clinic. And it's my red flag. I get eczema. So I have the tendency towards autoimmunity as well. I have asthma. I had asthma and allergies as a kid and then eczema. And that for sure is an autoimmune profile. So I do very well living this life. I feel my best. Have you been struggling to get pregnant and or have had many miscarriages? That's a huge indicator to me. The miscarriages, for certain, there's an autoimmune condition going on. And then if there's long time struggle to get pregnant, chances are there's too much inflammation in the body. And pregnancy is one of those things that it is a foreign object. And for some unknown reason, our body accepts it. When there's autoimmunity going on, it will reject a pregnancy. It will say, no, you're too foreign. I don't want you. Or there's too much inflammation in my body. I have too many other things to tend to. I'm sorry, I cannot host a life in my body. Do you have a hard time losing weight? Do you go in and out of bouts of anxiety and depression? Do you experience random allergic responses, chronic sinus stuff? Do you feel like you're always catching that cold that's going around? So those are, in my opinion, I don't know how many that is. I think it's like 10. Those are the 10 most common clue-ins to autoimmunity. in the book, I have this real extensive, you can see it, list, like a checkbox list that you will go through, and it gets even clearer. I just did an interview the other day for Well and Good, and the girl who interviewed me was like, so I must have an autoimmune condition because I was reading through your book, and I checked almost every single box. And then she went into all her health stuff, and I was like, yeah, follow the plan in the book. It should really help you. So anyway, autoimmune diseases is basically just like the body's on high alert, and it just doesn't like a lot of things that come its way, and then it begins to attack itself, and that creates this level of inflammation throughout the body, and you walk around feeling really unwell. The hard thing about autoimmune diseases is, or what you may experience yourself even, is that it's a host of vague symptoms, so that a lot of doctors miss it because they don't see the whole picture. They don't have enough time to spend with you to hear all of your symptoms, to catch everything. So there's a miscommunication happening, or a misidentification. No one's able to identify it because, like, you might think, oh, I'm just I had kids, and so now I'm just tired every day. Isn't that normal? Aren't you just tired when you have kids? No, I'm not tired. I have kids. It's not normal. I'm tired when I don't sleep well. I'm not tired when I sleep well. That's not normal. Doesn't everybody have gas and bloating and indigestion? No, you shouldn't have that. You're eating something that your body can't digest, or that your body is hosting an immune response to, and that's causing you to have these GI symptoms. Doesn't everyone get a cold when the seasons change? No, you should get one cold a year, max. That's it. Your immune system should be able to fight off these colds. You shouldn't get a cold every time your kid comes home with one. Your kids shouldn't get colds every time they're exposed to one. We should be vital enough to fight that off. And so if we're not, then there's something in the system that's awry. And there's, I think inflammation is the best way to picture it, because I think we all know that. I think it's a bit of a cliche phrase these days, and it's misused in many ways, just like the word detox is, or cleanse. But I think that's the easiest to understand, that the body's just kind of like, it's really aggravated. And so anything and everything further aggravates it, and you walk around in this state of feeling unwell. Most people feel about, I'd say, 70 to 80% of what they deserve, what they are worthy of feeling. And that's sad to me. That's really the root of this book, was that women are suffering an epidemic. And I say women because it seems autoimmunity is affecting women 75% more than men. And women in their prime, so 20s, 30s, 40s, are getting really affected. And then it's carrying on later into their life, of course, but this is when it's starting. And I think that's a bunch of crap. You shouldn't be suffering. You shouldn't be feeling unwell. You deserve to feel better. So autoimmunity is prevalent. It's everywhere. I think we all have a tendency to it. And just there's this sense of, the way I see it is, it's cellular hostility is outweighing cellular harmony. We're supposed to have a little bit of inflammation in our body. That's healthy. That's a normal. We're supposed to have an immune response to things. That's healthy. That's normal. It's when it becomes like 65, 70% of the time versus 30 to 35% of the time, that's when the problems arise. The way I'm trained in traditional Oriental medicine or traditional Chinese medicine, we use them interchangeably, is that with every disease, disharmony, discomfort in the body, there's not just a physical component, but there's an emotional component. And so when it comes to autoimmunity, it's literally the body's attacking itself. And it's attacking itself, it used to live in harmony with itself, and now all of a sudden it's like attacking. And, the way I described it in the book and the way it works in my brain is that it's a misidentification of self. So what was once considered normal self is now all of a sudden seen as non-self. So it's like you can't identify with yourself anymore, so you don't see yourself in there, so you attack it. And to take that one step further, where are you doing that emotionally? Where are you misidentified with yourself? Where are you hostile with yourself? Where are you abusing and attacking yourself? Where are you aggravated and inflamed at yourself? What wounds, what traumas have we not worked through or not healed? Where have we lost ourselves along the way? And so what my favorite, I love everything about this book. I think the diet and the lifestyle plan alone would help people a lot. But I also am challenging you in this book to go deep emotionally, to get raw. It's, to get a little uncomfortable. And that's where the true healing happens. So, I encourage my readers, to reconnect to themselves so they can begin to hear the conversation they're having in the privacy of their own mind. And then they can begin to renew that conversation, start to be, the harmony and the hostility, right? To switch it back. Like, am I more in harmony with myself, or am I still really hostile and angry towards myself, or towards a situation, or towards a person, or towards a thing? And that is really taking up the bulk of my energy. And guess what? Cells in a petri dish. Let me back this up. So there's science that shows that negative, worrisome, hostile thoughts cause us to release stress hormones. So like norepinephrine and cortisol, say. Those are probably two that you've heard of. When you take cells and put them in a petri dish and then you put in norepinephrine or cortisol, guess what? They die. They get diseases, they get fragmented, they cannot survive. The research paper actually says these chemicals are insustainable to life. However, when you have a perception of love or kindness, compassion, you release hormones like serotonin, oxytocin, growth hormone. Guess what those do to cells in a petri dish? They thrive, they're abundant, they're happy, they're plump, they're juicy, they're like jiving out. So, hope, love, peace, ease, create a healing environment, a curative environment, a growing, flourishing, thriving environment. Anger, hostility, stress, worry, negative thoughts create a real hostile environment that is not sustainable to life. We can't walk around with like rose-colored glasses on all the time. I also think that's unrealistic. Life happens, shit happens, right? So we have these stressful moments. It's more about, is the hostility outweighing the harmony? That's where I want us to be more harmony, less hostile. With ourselves, with the world, with how we nourish our bodies, with how we choose to think, how we choose to see, how we choose to speak, how we choose to interact with people. I want us to be more in harmony and less hostile. And that is the root of this book, and that is the root of autoimmunity. There's hostility outweighing harmony. And so we just have to tame this hostility. It's not about eradicating it. I mean, that would be awesome, and I don't want to rule that out, but I think we always will have those moments, and we kind of need them. We need a little inflammation in the body once in a while, and we need a little inflammation in our life once in a while to get the fire lit. That's okay, but I want to keep it at like 30, max 40% of the time. The rest of the time, I want some harmony. I want some peace. I want some ease. I want us cheering ourselves on. I want us on the same team, mind and heart and body and soul, and so this hostility on the emotional level happens when our head is saying one thing, but our heart is saying another, and we have completely misidentified with ourselves. So there you have it. That is autoimmunity. So it's a cellular, attack upon itself, but it's also an emotional attack upon itself. And if any of that resonates with you, go and pre-order this pumpkin. She's a beauty. And like I said, there is about half of this book is what to eat, what not to eat, recipes, lifestyle guidance. And then again, if you pre-order the book, you are going to get 5 hours of free, incredible content from me. There's meditations, qigong, yoga, cooking demonstrations, discussions, really deep discussions, workshops on how to begin to renew your beliefs, how to begin to shift that conversation to a more harmonious and peaceful and kind one, and how to be less hostile with ourselves. So how to really begin to reconnect. Because I believe, I could give you the diet and the lifestyle and just tell you, do that. And there's a lot of books out there that do that, and it does work for a lot of people. But I think at the core, we first need to reconnect to ourselves, begin to hear that conversation we're having in the privacy of our own mind, and begin to shift the beliefs that we have about our health, about our body, about how it works or how it doesn't work, about how we can depend on it or we can't depend on it. And from that place, then make the lifestyle and diet changes. I just find so much more success clinically and with all my online students that when they step into their power and do something because they feel better for it, because they feel like they're honoring their body, versus I have to do this because Aimee says I need to do it, they get better results and faster. And they just feel so good about their choices, and they're living in their body in harmony and peace and grace. And it's beautiful to see, because it's not just that their health changes, everything in their life changes. Heather, is the diet in this book similar to the diet in Yes, You Can Get Pregnant? That book helped me so much. It is similar, but it's a little... what's different is this is an elimination diet, so we eliminate a lot of things, and then we slowly add things back in. And then also what's different is I have in here something called the Purify phase. So it's an 11-day purification of your body. So you're eating very choice foods that are, specific to helping to heal the gut and heal autoimmunity. And then you begin to slowly reintroduce food groups. But it's similar to Yes, You Can Get Pregnant in the sense that I still say no gluten, no soy, no dairy, no GMOs, no pesticides, no artificial sweeteners. But this book's a little more intense on the diet level because autoimmunity affects everybody and everybody's body so differently that we have to strictly eliminate like big culprits, including like nuts and beans and grains, and then slowly add them back in. So you do get to add foods back in, which is nice. As you heal your gut, you should be able to tolerate more foods. So it's different. It's, it's a little more, I would think, it goes deeper to really help heal this autoimmune condition. And a lot of my girls that are already, working with me, either in the clinic or online, that diet, the Yes, You Can Get Pregnant diet, even when I created my e-course, my Yes, You Can Get Pregnant e-course, I shifted the diet a little bit, and I helped, I got even deeper. Like I gave them clues as to, like, if you're still experiencing this, then we need to change this in your diet. And so I've constantly been working on this with clients and seeing the changes, and a lot of that's in the book as well. So thank you for that question, Heather. And again, if you guys want to know more about me, if you're new to me, head over to aimeeraupp.com where you can learn everything you need to know about me. Pre-order this baby. Check out my other books. I have tons of online workshops and content. I even have an all-organic and handcrafted skincare line. One of the number one reasons for this rise in autoimmunity is the environmental toxins. Since the 1980s, we've introduced over 100,000 chemicals into our environment. And since that time, the incidence of autoimmunity has quadrupled, affecting women 75% more than men, because all of these environmental toxins are, they're called endocrine disrupting chemicals, and endocrine means hormones. And so since women's hormonal profile changes about every week, no matter where you are hormonally, fertility or menopause or whatever, your hormones still shift every week. So women just get wrecked from these chemicals in our environment. And that is a main reason I started my skincare line. And, and I talk about how to detox your bath and beauty routine and your household cleaning routine so that you can get rid of all that chemical exposure as well. Oh, Marlene, thank you. I love my skincare line too. All right, lovelies. So again, if any of this resonated with you tonight and you want more of this conversation, or you do have a thyroid disease that you know about, join me tonight on my free webinar, Healing Hashimoto's. It's all tips and tools and strategies on how to begin to heal from probably the most common autoimmune condition that's out there. All right, I'll see you guys next week.